Okay, so who is EcoFlow? That's how we're going to start. But before we begin to dive into the products, I just want to start by talking about the company itself. So I'm going to head over to Charlie and Miles and we'll start asking them some questions. Charlie, Miles. So could you just tell us a little bit about EcoFlow and the company itself?
Yeah, so EcoFlow was founded in 2017 in China by sort of battery engineers. I think that's where it came from. And I think they saw a real gap in the market, more so around portable power stations. I think that's when it was kind of hitting the market. And I think they had a bit of a vision that they could do it a lot better. So they first had the river, the EcoFlow river that hit the market in 2017. And from there, they've just gone from strength to strength, bringing out new products. And now obviously we've come into residential storage as well, and also into plug-in solar, some more balcony solar and storage. So yeah, it kind of started from the power stations, and then over time they built it into something a lot bigger.
Okay, Charlie. So I had probably 3 or 4 talking points there to ask you questions about, and you pretty much nailed every single one of them.
Okay.
Right there, straight away.
First rodeo, is it?
Yeah. There you go.
You can tell you've done this before. So that's brilliant. Seems like EcoFlow have come a long way really quickly, and they've sort of diversified what products they're doing and straight away, and they've all taken off really well. Brilliant company growth. Brilliant growth journey. So it seems like you have a global presence. It's saying it started off in China, and now you're really big in the UK. Are there any other markets that you're sort of really heavily involved in?
Yeah, I think if we just more so think about Europe, I think it's the UK and Germany is our biggest markets, but we're also in France, we're in the Netherlands, we're in Spain, Portugal. I think there's actually 150 countries in total.
155 countries at the moment, covering Nordics all the way to Eastern States, all the way to North America, South America, Asia. Australia is one of our more recent markets that we moved into, with possibilities of expansion into New Zealand markets. On top of that, we then have the African markets as well.
Wow. So those battery engineers way back then, they didn't really have any idea how big they were going to be, did they?
No, yeah, I think that's just credit to them and the innovation. I think, there's a huge part of our company is just R&D. I think you can see that with the products, and I think that's why they've grown so quickly across the globe.
Just sort of jumping back a minute, I forgot to introduce Elliot, sat to my right. He's one of the latest directors at Renergy Solutions. He's a well-known figure in the industry, worked for many, many companies, Spark, Project Solar UK, Evergen, SolarFast. So yeah, basically he's now come to Renergy to help us with our growth and strategy. And I just wondered if you had anything you wanted to add in there?
I mean, I absolutely love the EcoFlow products. This industry is always ever changing. We see battery companies, they grow really quickly because there's such a high demand here in the UK, but technology is always ever changing. Installers, they flip between different kind of manufacturers because everybody offers something slightly different.
Mm-hmm.
With EcoFlow, they've got such a versatile range of products, which not only do customers love, but installers love fitting as well. And I think that's very important because the installers are the ones which are selling to the customers. We're the ones that are fitting the products. We're the ones which are recommending what kind of products that we like to install and what the installers really push towards customers. So
No, I think
it's a fantastic product, to be honest.
Well, I think that's very well said. As an installer myself, I can attest to how much we all love EcoFlow, not just with how simple they can be for us to install due to the hard work put in behind the scenes by EcoFlow, but at the end of the day, when you finish your installation, how great they look, how pleased the customer is.
Yeah, I can attest to that. I mean, I've been over to China twice, very luckily, with EcoFlow. Miles and Charlie mentioned about the R&D which EcoFlow put into all their products and their innovation. I've seen it firsthand, the support and the technology behind the company itself. They do reinvest a hell of a lot in R&D, which then trickles down the line, which really helps develop their product. They give installers what they after, and more importantly, you listen. So over the last couple of years, you didn't have a gateway competing with companies like Tesla and SIG, for example. You've listened to installers, you've given them what they're after. Now we have the gateway. So it's these little small innovations which then allow EcoFlow to then keep their edge on the market.
Yeah. No, it's interesting you should mention those sort of things that they're doing. I was actually wanting to ask Charlie and Miles about EcoFlow's long-term vision. So we've sort of sidelined pretty nicely into that. If you could just give me something about that?
So the vision of EcoFlow at the moment is we've got all the residential for expanding, filling all the gaps that our competitors have at the moment in the market, and we're basically bringing out new innovations to fill those gaps. For example, the Ocean 2 Plus, filling in the 6 to 12 kilowatt option range for single phase. But then we are also then expanding into the C&I market, which is a current project for this year. At Intersolar currently, we're releasing all of our C&I battery storage systems, as well as the C&I inverters, beta, vehicle to grid and vehicle to home, EV car chargers, AC and DC chargers as well. On top of that, we've also got an 8 kilowatt hour battery coming out soon, which will be released at Solar Storage Live Birmingham. So I think currently at the stages we're at, we've got all the portable and dominant portable market. We pretty much come into the residential market globally, now with different systems, different markets. And we are currently constantly expanding the residential side, but we're trying to keep the innovation, so product ranges, look compatible with each other. So you're mixing and matching systems, you're not outdating systems. We're keeping the innovation of software. So people with existing systems, older systems will still have the same software technology that all the new modern products will have. So we're not outdating any of our product range. We're not neglecting any of our existing systems, but then we're expanding onto the larger range and larger systems for import, export tariffs and capabilities of export trading as well, and expansion of battery storage systems. So we're trying to give the customers the capability to constantly keep expanding their systems without having to buy a whole new product for their property. On top of that, we're then expanding battery storage sizing. For example, with the Ocean 2 Plus systems now, you can then expand all the way up to 60 kilowatt hours of battery storage on one single phase inverter. But then you've still got the scalability that you can add in EV car chargers, air source heat pumps. So pretty much we're trying to keep the innovation alive with not outdating products, but making everything compatible with existing product ranges, software updates and everything. We don't want to outdate our customers that already have systems. We want to keep them on the top of their performance in the market.
No, I think that's really great. Now, like I said, being an installer, I see many different types of systems. Hopefully, I'm going to start only really seeing EcoFlow systems. That's what I'd like to see. But what I have noticed with all the other companies out there creating their own products is that they do tend to forget about the customers they've already sold systems to, and they're bringing out new products and they're just not compatible with the old systems. So I think that's something really great that EcoFlow are doing. And I hope it works out well, not just for EcoFlow, but for the actual customers themselves spending their own hard-earned money on these products. I just wanted to jump back to something you said about car to grid and car to home. I don't think many companies out there are thinking about that seriously at the moment, when it is going to be a massive part of the home of 2030.
I think as our consumption habits change, as government regulations then change, we need to be on top of these new innovations. And vehicle to home charging, the bi-directional EV chargers, is just that another step of something which is about to land, which you need a product to be able to fill that gap. I think that's important.
It's a very big thing in the government policy changes and the future plans for government policy changes. So manufacturers are able to keep up to speed with what the government wants to do and what the government wants to plan for the systems, but then also look at what the actual benefit to end users are now. So with the vehicle to grid charging, straightforward, being able to export and draw power from grid and battery storage, either or. But then with the vehicle to home charging, it then allows people that can't have the capabilities of battery storage on their home, but they're able to then have the electric car. They can then use.
It's one of the biggest batteries you're ever going to buy, which is just sat on your driveway. Being able to use that to power your house, it's going to be a game changer.
Yeah,
but you need the technology to be able to do that. The bi-directional EV,
and that's what I thought. I thought it was really great that EcoFlow are actually thinking about this already. Thinking about this already when government policy has been a little bit slow moving towards this, but it is definitely coming. So it's great that you guys are ready and waiting for that change.